In ancient Egypt, fear ruled a king. The Hebrews were growing too strong. So Pharaoh made a brutal decree. Every Hebrew son must die. A most evil act against God's chosen people. But in the shadows of oppression, one child would escape death. A mother, desperate yet full of faith, placed her baby into a fragile basket. She set him upon the Nile, trusting the current and God. The river carried not just a child, but the future of a nation. From the waters of the Nile, a princess discovered the child, not as a slave, but as her own. He would be raised in power, yet born into suffering. His name was Moses. Raised in a palace of gold, Moses lived as royalty. But beyond the walls, his people suffered. Two worlds collided within him, and the truth could no longer be ignored. One moment changed everything. A cry for mercy, a surge of anger. Moses struck down an Egyptian. Justice or a mistake? That did not matter now. His old life was over. He fled into the wilderness. No crown, no identity, only silence and sand. The man who had everything became no one, lost in the desert. Days turned to years. The heat of the sun by day, the cold of the night by evening. A life stripped of status, of certainty, of direction. But it was there, in the emptiness, that something greater was forming. Then, the impossible appeared. A fire that did not consume. A voice that could not be ignored. In the wilderness, God called his name. Not as a prince, not as a fugitive, but as a chosen vessel. Moses was chosen to confront a king, to free a people. But doubt filled his heart. Questions rose within him. Who am I? Why me? What if I fail? Still, the voice remained, I will be with you. And that was enough. He returned not as a prince, but as a messenger. Standing before Pharaoh, he spoke with boldness, let my people go. The challenge had begun. The river turned to blood. The skies darkened. Locusts devoured the land. Frogs covered the earth. Storms shattered the sky. Darkness swallowed the sun. One by one, Egypt fell to ruin. Yet Pharaoh's heart remained unbroken. A quiet night unlike any before. Doors marked in blood. Families waiting in silence. Breath held, hearts pounding. Then cries filled Egypt. And freedom finally came. At last, they walked away. Thousands leaving chains behind. From slavery to hope, led by the man once lost, now leading a nation forward. But freedom was tested. The sea was ahead, an army behind. Fear spread through the people. Doubt returned like a shadow. There was nowhere to run, and nowhere to hide. But where man saw an ending, God made a way. Then Moses stood firm. He raised his staff, and the impossible happened. The sea opened, a path through the impossible. Walls of water rising on both sides, the wind roaring through the deep. They crossed between walls of water, step by step toward freedom. Every step an act of faith. But the army followed, and in a single moment, the sea returned. Silence followed. The past was gone. Freedom was only the beginning. The desert tested them. Hunger, thirst, doubt. The same voices returned. Complaint, fear, uncertainty. But Moses pressed forward, even when they wanted to turn back. Even when the path made no sense. And still, they were not alone. Bread fell from the sky. Water flowed from stone. Provision in the impossible. In the desert, they were sustained. Not by what they could see, but by what they were learning to trust. At the foot of a trembling mountain, Moses climbed into the storm. Thunder roared. Lightning split the sky. Here, he would meet God. Not in silence, but in power. Not in distance, but in presence. From fire and stone came the law. Words carved with purpose. A covenant for a people, to guide them, to shape them, to set them apart. But below, they had forgotten. A golden idol, a broken promise. Impatience replaced faith, and a leader returning to betrayal. Yet, even in failure, grace remained. Years passed in the wilderness, a journey of struggle and faith. Lessons learned slowly, through trial, through waiting, through endurance. Moses carried the weight of a nation. Not just their direction, but their doubts. Not just their future, but their failures. But even leaders falter. One moment of anger, one act of disobedience, and the cost was great. Even the chosen are not exempt from consequence. From the mountain he saw it, the land ahead, the promise fulfilled, so close, yet not his to enter. A vision given, but not possessed. At the edge of destiny, Moses let go, not with regret, but with peace, because the mission was never about him. It was about what came after. From a river to a nation, from a fugitive to a leader, from fear to faith, from bondage to freedom, a legacy that endures, not written in stone alone, but in the story of a people who learned to trust the unseen, and in the reminder that even in the wilderness, even in the impossible, there is always a way forward.